Balloon 7-3 Inנכight maneuvers. Welcome as we delve into the intricate art of tethering hot air balloons, an operation that, despite its apparent simplicity, unfolds as one of the most demanding and stressful endeavors in ballooning. Balloons designed for the freedom of flight find themselves tethered to the ground, contending with forces that, under specific circumstances, can test the very limits of their design. The pilot, akin to a seasoned conductor, orchestrates hours of precise finesse flying, a task that demands utmost attention and preparation. The crew, in turn, weathers a continuous storm of handling, turning tethering into a symphony of coordination and control. Safety margins within which tethering is deemed secure are narrow, requiring an attentiveness that rivals flying in marginal conditions. Each tethering scenario, a unique tapestry of conditions and requirements, necessitates a tailored approach. The facade of a simple tether should not deceive the pilot into downplaying the real demands and inherent risks. A proficient and knowledgeable crew becomes the linchpin, enabling the pilot to harness the numerous benefits that tethering can offer. Under favorable conditions, a well-planned multi-hour commercial tether unfurls as a spectacle that lasts for hours, captivating a media audience of millions and bestowing upon several hundred individuals their inaugural taste of a brief balloon ride. Yet regardless of the purpose behind tethering, be it promotional, recreational, or otherwise, all forms of tethering adhere to the same foundational preparations and safety guidelines. In the mosaic of tethering, it is paramount to recall that the regulations encapsulated in 14 CFR Part 91, governing general operating and flight rules, unfurl their wings over all operations conducted with a type-certified hot air balloon. A prevalent misconception attempts to tether this practice under the provisions of 14 CFR Part 101, applicability. However, let it be known that this assumption is unequivocally incorrect. Tether operations, without exception, fall within the purview of a certificated pilot and may never be executed by an individual bereft of an airman's certificate. The canvas upon which a tethered flight is painted requires meticulous planning, surpassing the preparations for a conventional launch. Considerations must encompass current and forecasted winds, with the tether site extending at least twice, preferably 3 times, the size of a standard launch area. This space may find itself flanked by the formidable presence of trees, buildings, and various obstacles. Under specific circumstances, these impediments may, paradoxically, serve to shield the balloon from low-level, lower-velocity winds, while higher winds may introduce turbulence, significantly impacting the balloon's demeanor. 2 primary methods of tethering emerge: the 3-line method and the 6-line method. In the former, lateral lines fasten to the top of the basket, detouring stress loads away from the basket's superstructure. Meanwhile, the latter, a 6-line system, introduces 3 vertical bridle lines connecting the top of the balloon to the basket's superstructure, complemented by 3 additional lateral lines. The choice between the 2 hinges on factors such as wind conditions and the intention behind the tethering, whether rides are offered or not. The pages of the manufacturer's flight manual unfold as the guiding scripture, specifying procedures and techniques tailored for tethering. A prudent pilot acquaints themselves with these instructions and potential limitations before embarking on a tethered escapade. In the ethereal realm of tethering, safety rests not solely on the shoulders of equipment, but thrives on the skills and preparations of the flight team. As we navigate this aerial endeavor, safety tips distilled from the pages of Hot Air Balloon Crewing Essentials by Gordon Schwantkowski, a venerable text that graces the libraries of both seasoned pilots and aspiring crew members, become our guiding beacons. Preparation eclipses the choice between commercially available tether systems and personalized ropes. Securely affix 2 or 3 tether lines to load rings or envelope carabiners. Aspire for triangulated wind protection by fastening tether lines to secure objects such as parked vehicles. This distributes wind loads, shielding from turbulence and potential downdrafts. Constantly monitor weather conditions and line tensions, remaining attuned to changes and necessary adjustments. Direct participants according to safety needs rather than engaging in casual conversations. Weather changes and unpredictable maestro may abruptly alter the symphony of tethering. Be prepared to suspend or cancel a tether in response to shifting weather. Factor in additional time for packing lines when evaluating whether to conclude the operation. Envision and adapt to the possibility of any single line failing or coming untied without warning. Craft an immediate backup plan to maintain control and safety. In the realm of ballooning, the chase crew emerges as a dynamic force, transcending the role of mere drivers waiting for the balloon's descent. As an indispensable component of the flight team, the chase crew's actions wield a considerable influence on flight safety, extending beyond the conventional responsibilities of driving and tracking. Post-launch, the crew's immediate task involves efficiently loading equipment and preparing to depart the launch field, particularly in scenarios like a large fun fly or competitive event where camaraderie beckons. The crew must resist the allure of lingering on the field. A crew stationed on the field is of scant utility to a pilot encountering difficulties. Collaboratively with the pilot, the crew chief orchestrates a planned exit route from the launch site and formulates a strategy for the chase. The question of whether the chase crew leads the balloon or trails behind for the entire flight hinges on personal preference, with open lines of communication and a recovery plan being the paramount considerations. The act of chasing, often oversimplified, demands a nuanced approach. The crew should be prepared to strategically position themselves at two critical junctures, where the balloon currently resides and where it projects to be in the imminent future. A strategic approach during the first half of the planned flight involves leapfrogging ahead of the balloon, allowing it to catch up and repeating the cycle. Even in familiar flying areas, constant map checks are imperative to ascertain the flight path, potential landing spots, and optimal routes to reach them. Vigilance becomes the crew's watchword, with an ever-present awareness of changing conditions, fluctuating winds, traffic considerations, and directional shifts that could impact the flight. Legal and courteous driving practices should prevail, avoiding undue speed that may project a false sense of emergency and draw unwanted attention. Compliance with traffic laws and respect for private property, as indicated by no trespassing and keep out signs, is essential. Trespassing, a common pitfall, should be sidestepped, adhering to strict laws governing vehicular access to private properties. Visibility matters. Keeping the chase vehicle within sight of the balloon reassures the pilot of the crew's proximity and availability. When the vehicle halts at the roadside, ensuring its full visibility to the balloon pilot becomes imperative. Effective pilot-crew communication, a linchpin of successful chase operations, often finds expression through radio transmissions. While common, the use of radios demands compliance with Federal Communications Commission (FCC) regulations, adherence to call signs, proper language, and succinct transmissions. Some balloonists, however, prefer abstaining from radio use, deeming it distracting for both pilot and chase vehicle driver. In such instances, establishing a shared phone number before the flight serves as a practical contingency in case the balloon eludes the chase crew. Navigating the airwaves, the use of very high-frequency VHF radios introduces certain nuances. Frequencies such as 123.3 and 123.5 for air-to-ground communications find favor among balloonists, leveraging glider school frequencies during the early hours when soaring planes are scarce. Identification conventions such as adding chase to the aircraft call sign facilitate ground crew self-identification. The air-to-air frequency 122.75 demands brevity in transmissions, acknowledging that multiple airborne entities share this frequency. Weather information, a critical component, can be gleaned through VHF radios, accessing the Automatic Terminal Information Service, ATIS, for nearby weather reports. As we traverse the skies in pursuit of the majestic balloon, the choreography of pilot-crew interactions unfolds, weaving a tapestry of coordination, safety, and seamless communication, a symphony of aeronautical collaboration. Navigating the skies demands more than mastery of flight. It requires an acute awareness of the earthly domains over which we float. As balloonists, our trajectory intersects with the lives of terrestrial inhabitants, particularly the diverse array of animals that inhabit the landscapes below. Understanding and respecting the nuances of animal behavior becomes integral to our aerial endeavors, ensuring harmonious coexistence between the majestic balloon and the creatures that roam the ground. Animals, oblivious to flight regulations, respond to the sight and sound of balloons with instinctive reactions. Even when soaring within legal altitudes, disturbances caused to animals, such as barking dogs, panicking turkeys, or galloping horses, can provoke legitimate grievances. The onus falls on the balloonist to cultivate an understanding of identifying and locating animals on the ground, recognizing that adherence to flight regulations may not suffice in mollifying the concerns of both animals and their owners. Horses omnipresent in varying landscapes demand a nuanced approach. Whether in paddocks, fields, or sprawling pastures, horses exhibit a spectrum of responses to the balloon's presence. Boarding stables and breeding farms, delineated by painted wooden fences and horse-related paraphernalia, merit special consideration. The assumption that all horses, irrespective of their purpose, are valuable necessitates caution. The slightest stimuli, from the glow of the burner to the balloon's shadow, can incite varied reactions, from bucking and neighing to more extreme behaviors. Calming techniques, including the sound of human voices, become invaluable tools in mitigating equine distress. Cattle, with their own set of idiosyncrasies, require careful navigation. Distinguishing between dairy cows, which tend to stay close to barns, and beef-producing cattle in remote pastures informs prudent flight decisions. Cattle reactions, ranging from bunching together to potential stampedes, demand a respectful distance and strategic herding techniques. Brood cows, especially during breeding, introduce unpredictability, urging caution in their vicinity. Given their proclivity to panic, bunch together and bolt, avoiding them becomes imperative. The repercussions of unsettling pigs extend beyond the immediate, with potential financial claims against balloonists in the event of distressing these animals. Poultry, housed in confinement buildings or ranging freely, present their own considerations. The controlled environment of poultry production facilities can be disrupted by balloon-related stimuli, triggering mass-scale panic and potential suffocation. In the backdrop of these encounters, livestock tips serve as a guide for minimizing disruptions. Vigilance, heightened during the morning and early evening when livestock are most active, underscores the importance of situational awareness. Immediate attention to livestock breaking out of enclosures is paramount, balancing the need to protect both the animals and the surrounding environment. The human voice, wielded with calm and ease, emerges as a potent tool in assuaging agitated or frightened livestock. As balloonists, our flight paths intersect with the intricate tapestry of terrestrial life. The respect and understanding we extend to the animals below not only define our ethical stewardship of the skies, but also contribute to a harmonious cohabitation between the ephemeral beauty of the balloon and the grounded inhabitants who share our journey. In closing, this chapter, akin to its predecessor, imparts techniques and procedures that echo through the annals of ballooning wisdom. While not exhaustive, these insights offer a compass for aspiring and seasoned pilots alike. Observing fellow pilots, incorporating safe practices, and assimilating diverse perspectives become the cornerstone of a pilot's journey. As we traverse the skies, may our flights be characterized by safety, purpose, and a deep-seated respect for the intricate dance between the airborne balloon and the terrestrial realms it graces.